Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Thanks for coming here this morning. I don't know about you guys, but it was pretty cold where I was at, 35 degrees. Got running late, had to go by the wife's house, and the well was froze up. So that was big fun. That's why I didn't get any donuts this morning. So you just have to put up with that. But there's plenty of nice homemade goodies back there taking their place. It's that time of year, so help yourself. I'd like to welcome you to the People's Church of Divine Prophecy Sunday service. A couple of quick housekeeping rules. Please silence your cell phones unless you're medical or law enforcement personnel. Restrooms are down the hall, quick right, quick left, and there's cold drinks in the refrigerator, hot drinks and cookies in the back. Help yourself to any at all times. I'd like to have Matthew light the candles, symbolizing the unity of body, mind, and spirit to start the service. Like we're all here this morning, body, mind, and spirit. Please stand for the opening prayer and remain standing for the first hymn. Dear Father God, we give thanks for this moment of gathering here. May we feel all of those of like mind around us. May we feel welcome and hopeful and peaceful while we are here. May we share that with each other as we move through the service. May we take this peace and your presence with us as we leave here today. We give thanks for this time of year. May we feel that peace on earth and goodwill to all others in this season. Amen. Amen. The next part is a thought for the day from the pastor. I try to put something in a spiritual perspective that's happened to me in the past week through a spiritual discipline that I'm trying to bring into my life. Like I've said, you can sit in all the classes you want, learn all the nice platitudes you want, but when you go out and put it into practice in the real world, that's where it counts. This past week, a lot of what's come to me is about everything in this life that you do begins with a thought in your mind. Everything that you choose to do begins with a thought in your mind. Along with that is a little bit of personal responsibility about what you do and about what you think. As I moved through this week, I had the opportunity to be involved with some people, and as a minister, I do counselings with people as the need appears, not for a business or not for fees. I do it to help people. I encountered this one person that was, they were so distraught because they had so many things that they were having to do in their life, and when we talked about it, it ended up being a lot of things they had committed to do for other people, and they weren't doing anything for themselves. How many of us have found ourselves in that position before? You know, one thing at a time. Oh, well, I got time to do this. I got time to help this person. And pretty soon you're helping everybody but yourself. When that happens, you need to fulfill the responsibilities you've done to a reasonable point and let go of them. Because some people begin to use it as a way of life rather than temporary help. And you have to be careful not to take on somebody else unless they're a dependent child. And I'm talking about by age, not by desire. Once they hit a certain age, they're not a dependent child anymore. People have to make their own way in the world. I remember what me and Manny, the guy that owns a bookstore downstairs, were talking one day, and we were both giving our kids a lot of help and a lot of money, and they're in their 30s, mid-30s and stuff. And he said he hit his threshold when he had given one of them a Jeep, a nice Jeep, about 5 years out of date. And about 3 weeks later, got a call that said the battery's dead in the Jeep. He said, yes. Okay. He said he realized then that what he thought was kindness was allowing them to live a lifestyle that they could not live if he suddenly disappeared from this earth. Whether he was beamed up by aliens, decided to transition to the other side, or whatever the cause was, they would be unable to function because they had become to depend on him for a way of life that they could not sustain on their own. And that's where help is different than enabling. So we have to watch that point and allow God to work with each person and allow them to move on with their lives. Another part of this, as I said, is your thoughts. Everything in the world begins as a thought. I don't care what it is. The biggest creation, the most profound creation on earth over the last thousands of years or today begins as a thought in somebody's mind. There was a book called As a Man Thinketh, which was written in 1901 by this guy that ran a publishing house. I forget his name now. I'm ashamed of that, but I did forget his name. And his statement was, your mind is like a garden. If left untended, it's still going to grow, but it's going to grow weeds and randomly. So if tended and guided in a fashion that's productive, it will produce a useful product and crop. So he says your mind's going to still produce whether you control it or not. So it's up to you to begin to watch your thoughts, keep them where they need to be. And it doesn't mean you can't entertain some fantasy or some hope out there that hitting the lottery or something like that. We're not talking about enjoying yourself or abusing yourself. It's thinking about things of a dire nature that may never happen, putting a lot of energy into something like that, from a little thing that started in front of you, letting it project itself off into the future, into something that may never happen. Control your thoughts. Think that something's going to be nice and fun, and if it turns bad, then you deal with it. But think of it as a happy event. Think of it as an opportunity for God before you, and approach it like that rather than going into it with an attitude of a task before you. Everything has positives and negatives to it. Every single thing, no matter how dire or how happy, has an upside and a downside to it. Sometimes it's a lesser of two evils, but there's still a second choice. And we have to be able to relax our minds, let God speak to us in the quiet, and feel that inspiration of which way to move. Because it's kind of like getting a car stuck. There is no way to get a car unstuck other than a lot of effort, a lot of energy, and a lot of application. And sometimes we're like that. We get stuck in things, and we have to work really hard to get out of them. But there is a path out with God's inspiration. Rarely can we ourselves as human beings see that path. There is a need to help other people. There is a need to be kind and compassionate. But you don't give away what it takes to sustain you. If you give away what it takes to sustain you, then you're not going to be there to help the next person. You have to be a little bit selfish about some of your resources and maintain what it takes to allow you to be you. And when you stop having the ability to be you, you stop giving it out and you start going inward into the silence until you regenerate who you are. Because if you lose yourself, you're no good to anybody. Thank you for listening. We'll start this service by reading the prayer for spiritual healing on the back of the hymnal in bold. I ask the great unseen healing force to remove all obstructions from my mind and body, and to restore me to perfect health. I ask this in all sincerity and honesty, and I will do my part. I ask this great unseen healing force to help both present and absent ones who are in need of help, and to restore them to perfect health. I put my trust in the love and power of God.
Find a comfortable position to sit. Get started the meditation. Take a few deep breaths. Inhale and exhale. With each inhale and exhale, just relax your body. Let go of the thoughts that are on your mind. If you have any worries, any concerns, just let it go for now. Bring your focus and your awareness to your breath. With each inhale and exhale, feel your body relaxing. Allow your breath to happen naturally. Just go with the flow of your breath. Try to listen to your breath. Engage in the mechanism of your breath. And just follow. Feel your breath taking you deeper and deeper within yourself. To a very peaceful and quiet place within you. There are no thoughts, no interruptions. It feels very quiet, calm, and soothing. Connect with this peaceful presence and repeat to yourself quietly, I am at peace with it. Your peaceful breath. And become one with it. This is your divine right, your divine presence. You are meant to be at peace, always. Embrace this peaceful aspect of your consciousness. And be still. Be still within. For it is in this stillness you feel contentment. For it is in this stillness you feel whole and complete. Embrace this infinite aspect of yourself and just be. Just be this peaceful breath. Feel your breath connecting you with your heart. Become aware of your heart chakra in the center of your chest. Connect your peaceful breath to the rhythm of your heart. And while you breathe, feel your heart expanding and contracting with the rhythm of your peaceful breath. Your heart is the cradle of your soul. God lives in your heart. Become aware of this presence as you look deeper into your heart, to the core of your heart. You will find your essence. God is love, and love is your essence. Connect with your essence and become one with this presence. As you look deeper into your heart, you feel God's love flowing through the core of your heart in a form of beautiful rose pink, loving, healing energy pouring out of your heart. Feel this energy flowing from within and without. Feel God's loving energy embracing you, healing you, comforting you. Feel this healing energy expanding and extending to the person next to you, connecting through the heart chakra. Feel this loving energy growing bigger, filling this entire room. Just follow this energy that is extending further out, up to the universe, surrounding the stars, the planets. Envision Mother Earth and see her embraced with this loving energy. See the energy circulating, touching every single person, embracing, healing. See this energy reaching the ocean, all the animals, the minerals, the plants. Feel the motion of this beautiful healing energy. Feel your connection with all, for you become one within and with all, with everything. Feel the unity consciousness and the universal love that holds each one of us together as one love, divine love. Let this vision and the feelings integrate deep into your consciousness with the knowing that we are all one. We are one. Let there be love on earth. Let it begin with us. Let there be peace on earth. Let it begin with us. Let there be harmony and light on earth. Let it begin with us. Feel your peaceful breath, bringing you back slowly to this room, to the chair where you're sitting. Become aware of your physical senses. Just be the love that you are, wherever you are. Be the love that you are.
The next portion of the service is the inspirational lecture. Today we have Pauline Gold back, and she always has an interesting perspective on things. She was raised Jewish and moved into spiritualism, I guess about 15 years ago, was it? Something like that. Yeah. She came out to Cassadaga, and I had some involvement with her teaching her. She had many other teachers, but it's always nice to see somebody that you taught years ago step up and become their own, and she's definitely moved into her own. And I'm always proud to see that with people that I've had a little bit of help getting there. Pauline speaks from her heart. She speaks with love and hope, and please welcome Pauline Gold.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's a pleasure to be here with all of you this morning. It's almost Christmas, and I'm thinking about the holiday to-do list. You know the kind. Buy presents, wrap presents, send presents, put up the lights, see the lights, and then I get a beautiful email from a friend from her blog page. And on this subject, it's called Holiday To-Do List, but there's a little bit of a twist. So instead of having buy presents, it says be present. Wrap gifts, it says wrap someone in a hug. Send gifts, there's a cross out that says send love, send peace, send joy. Put up the lights, see the lights, they got crossed out and it says be the light. I'm reminded of one of Peanuts' comic strips, the classic, A Charlie Brown Christmas. And I'm sure most of you know the story, but bear with me for a brief minute as I retell it. Right? Lucy and the gang sends Charlie Brown to find a Christmas tree. Charlie Brown finds a Christmas tree, but he finds a little poor, little bare tree, and he takes pity on it, and he returns with his tree, and only to have that everyone laughs at his little tree. In desperation, he cries out, "Someone please tell me what the true meaning of Christmas is." And his friend Linus does. Charlie Brown then has an aha moment, and he leaves the gang, and he tries to decorate his tree. But the tree falls down, and he thinks he killed it. Then another aha moment comes, and his friends come along and helps him. So often, we too fall into that same victim mentality, just like Charlie Brown. But also, just like Charlie Brown realized, he is not a victim, but rather victorious. We too can come to that same conclusion in our own life. Those little aha moments. Life's little aha moments. They're ordinary moments, but they become extraordinarily significant, even transformative in life. We've all had them. We're fascinated with these moments, whether they happen to us or to somebody else. It's that moment of clarity that makes us stop whatever we're doing and say, I get it. I really get it. Our greatest capacity is to have insights, epiphanies, and aha moments. Whether big or small, funny or sad, they can be surprising and inspiring. And the amazing part is that each one is unique and deeply personal. They're magical moments that come just out of the blue. Sometimes it's because of where we are, or it's who we're talking to, or it's just because it just gives us greater meaning at that moment, a moment of deep insight. For me, it's that instant when that long sought after answer just jumps to your mind. My aha moment came when I realized that everyone is a teacher and everyone is a student learning. Because we're all learning. We're all students of life. And I try to be the best example, because every day I'm growing into the best version of me. Was I perfect? No. There are instances where I could have said or done something different. But then when I look back and I ask that same question, was I perfect? Yes. I did the best that I could, and I am doing the best that I can. It's important to recognize that we're doing the best that we can within the realm of what we know. I just know one thing that's certain. I'm still learning, and I'm still discovering me. The last couple of weeks, I wanted to change my second bedroom. It's an office as well as the guest room. But the bed is just way too big, and my little aha moment was, great, I can get myself a day bed. Right? Went online, looked at it, bought it. Come home, and there's like this big rectangle box. I'm thinking, okay, take out all the parts, read the directions, I'm thinking, oh, this is way too overwhelming. I might need a handyman for this one. But I said, I can persevere, I can do this. And I'm sitting there and bolting the whole thing together, trying to put it up. I have 3 cats, and they're all over the place, losing pieces. And of course, you know, at the end, when you have like that one little bolt, and you're like, where is this supposed to go? Then, of course, I test it, sit on it. It's like, okay, it didn't fall. And then I had a friend come over. I said, please, you got to sit on my bed. I said, if it falls, it's okay, because then I know where this bolt is supposed to go. But everything came out fine. The bed was good, and I have plenty of room now to walk around. There's always new things to learn and adventures to be discovered. As we evolve, change, and grow as individuals, even our vision of our best self shifts and evolves along with us. So it's important to be content with being the best self that you can be in each moment, because we're always in the process of becoming our best version of you. Because I believe with each aha moment, you become more attuned to your own purpose, your wisdom, and your connection with the matrix of life. And the amazing part is, the world of opportunities just keeps getting bigger and bigger, because everything you do affects everything you do. How many of you have to think that something is wrong to change something in your life? The good news is, you don't have to wait for the sky to fall in before taking action. The epiphany route begins by looking inward and gathering perception into yourself and what you want. A spiritual awakening can be instantaneous or retrospective. And some people just experience that aha moment when suddenly something becomes unequivocally clear. Or for others, that aha moment comes by looking back into what has transpired in their lives. Whatever the means, that aha moment is life-changing. Because we all know that life is a balancing act. And all things in nature abide by natural law, including our human understanding. Along my own journey of self-actualization, I've noticed those life's high tides and storms make us feel sometimes beaten down, when our emotions are sometimes in turmoil, or our mind is bombarded with those obsessive little thoughts. You know, the kind when you repeat things over and over again, why, I can't, this is not working. By the same token, exhaustion can sometimes limit us and affects even our own health. Worries drowns us and turning us into those victims through our own fears and thoughts. And I know I've been definitely one of those people for periods of time in my life, and mostly all of them. But then I remembered a talk that I heard from one of my teachers. And they asked, are you being a creator of your life, or are you being a victim of your life? Because either you take responsibility for your life, or you start blaming others for it. And when you do that, you become a slave to their ideas and dreams instead of a pioneer of your own. Natural law tells us that with each action, we create our own experience on earth. Your mind, spirit, our mind and spirit are sometimes overlooked, underappreciated components of our own well-being. And one of the guiding principles of spiritualism is the interconnection of all things, including the mind, the body, and the environment in which we live. Emotional health and well-being are a crucial part of the wellness equation. And there are many parts to keep in balancing a mind, body, and spirit. And I have learned through the teachings to develop your own self-awareness, to focus your mind on subjects that benefit you, and paying attention to your own thoughts. While life can't always be simply boxed into that formula, I have found that keeping these principles in mind can be a great assistance in most facets of life. And one of the exciting things is that your attitude is one thing that is 100% in your control. I also felt keenly aware that everything is a matter of choice. And now, more than ever, was the time to be more self-aware and on purpose. Now, more than ever, was the time to choose my intentions. Where's your mind thought? Because through natural law, I have learned we bring into being our own experience on earth at every moment. We surround ourselves with our own words and deeds, generating that vibration that can cause happiness or unhappiness. Because it's our approach to life, our ways of being, doing, thinking, believing, behaving, and engaging with life. What you believe determines what you do. Whether you know it or not, whether you want to or not, we have an effect, and we are affected. What we feel and what we experience depends on what we choose to focus. And our focus affects our own perception, which in turn then affects what we perceive as our truth, our reality. We choose to focus by choosing our intentions. And focus is what gets us over that barrier of overwhelm sometimes, so that we can see and participate with what we want to do. I'm learning a lot in this process, and I'm inspired to continue my own self-actualization. And part of this is choosing to acknowledge and to celebrate how far you've come. Because self-discovery is the greatest joy in life. And I'm learning and understanding that with any effort that you do toward any particular dream tends to be an act of love and labor. Because it's really about working through the process that is fulfilling and satisfying from start to finish. Setting your intentions with anything that you do is living a life of purpose. And your intentions don't have to always be big or about setting goals. Your intent may be to be the best friend, family member, or co-worker that you can be for that day, or always for that matter. Because having that sense of purpose gives you a reason to aim for something. Having that sense of purpose means having those goals, clear goals that fit your story, your life story, and that what you do holds meaning and direction for you. A sense of purpose doesn't have to be doesn't have to be a grand world-changing ideal, but it's a way of holding who you are in harmony with what you do on a day-to-day basis. Because living a purposeful life has that direction, because you know your path you're on, and equally important, who you are. Nobody can tell you that. You are the path that you walk, and you know where you're headed and why. Sometimes we feel a little elusive. Sometimes we feel like aimlessly just walking around. But internally, you know that about yourself. Your path is not so much about those goals and the work, but the quality that you bring to your process of living. Your purpose, your unique contribution to whatever it is that you're putting forth at that moment. Because we live our life. And having that sense of purpose is the most powerful way that we can do this. Making the greatest value every moment in your life to the greatest effect. Because personal power lies in our own thoughts and attitudes. Because every choice we make, because every thought that crosses our minds, every belief that we nurture, every memory in which we cling, directs our spirit and where we're going with life. Because our task, I believe, is to contribute the best of our energy to every situation with understanding our own effect. Knowing what you value and living to those values gives the meaning and purpose to what you do. And our values and needs change as we change and grow. And what we value in one area of our life can be different in another, and that's okay. Because that amazing part is, after an aha moment, don't we realize that we've changed, that transformation actually occurred? It's that time, about like that flash of lightning, that brief second, we breathe in and our world is lightened, our load is lightened, because we're inspired, and we are inspired and we are inspired. Because these aha moments are openings of the highest inspirational impact. They help us expand, and we open up doors to possibilities never before imagined. Nothing of any note happens without purpose and attention, because purpose and attention is the driving force behind everything that we do. Your individual purpose is your choice. It doesn't have to be a forever thing. It can be just from day to day. It cannot be overemphasized that your energy goes where we focus our attention and our awareness. Success starts with you and your own mindset. And you're successful every day, every moment. There's going to be that sense of excitement. There's going to be that sense of hope. There's going to be that sense of aha, because life is worth living. The power of hope and rediscovering that magic of the moment is just a beautiful thing. And I thank you for listening.